Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Okay, in this video, we are going to talk about the chapter number 16. Okay, 16, not 16, yes. And last video, we discuss and read about the chapter number 15. Okay, that is says the cardinal role of behavior change. Okay, इसमें से we the fourth law of behavior change, that is make it satisfying. Okay, and we are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. Okay, जो चीज़ आपको प्लेजर दे रही ना, उस चीज़ को आप बार बार करेंगे. एंड जो जिस चीज़ ने करने से आपको ना क्या बोलते हैं उसे रिवॉर्ड नहीं देती है, तो उसे आप नहीं करोगे, और प्लेजर नहीं देती है ना, उसे आप नहीं करोगे. Okay. As some days, we are going to read about that today is how to stick with good habits every day. Okay. This is the chapter number 16. Okay. And listen carefully, and I hope uh, you all are happy and keep smiling on your face without investing any time, wasting time. Let's start. In 1993, a bank of Abbotsford, Canada, hired a 23 years old stockbroker named Trent Brinesmead. Abbotsford was a relatively small suburb tucked away in the shadow of nearby Vancouver, where most of the big business deals were being made. Given the location and the fact that Dyersmead was a rookie, nobody expected too much of him, but he made brisk progress thanks to a simple daily habit. Dyersmead began each morning with two jars of his days. One was filled with 120 paper clips, and the other was empty. As soon as he settled in each day, he would make a sales call. Immediately after, he would move one paper clip from the full jar to the empty jar. The process would be begun again. Eh, every morning, I would start with 120 paper clips in one jar, and I would keep dialing the phone until I had moved them all the second jar, he told me. Within 18 months, Dyer's Mill was bringing in a $5 million to the firm. By age 24, he was making $75,000 per year, the equivalent of one one lakh $25,000 today. Not long after, he landed a six-figure job with another company. I like to report to this technique as the paperclip strategy, and over the years, I have heard from readers who have employed in the variety of ways. One woman shifted a hairpin from one container to another whenever she wrote a page of her book. Another man moved a marble from one bin to the next after a set of push-ups. Making progress is satisfying, and visual measures like moving paper clips or airplanes or marbles provide clear evidence of your progress. As a result, they reinforce your behavior and add a little bit of immediate satisfaction to any activity. Visual measurement comes in many forms: food journal, workout logs, loyalty punch cards, and the progress bar on a subtle download, even the page numbers in a book. But perhaps the best way to measure your progress is with a habit tracker. ओके, बेस्ट वे टू आपका प्रोग्रेस को चेक करने के लिए आपको एक हैबिट ट्रैक कर रखना पड़ेगा. ओके, दैट इज द बेस्ट वे टू measure your progress. How to keep your habits on track? A habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit. The most basic format is to get a calendar and cross off each day you stick with your routine. For example, if you meditate on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, each of those days gets an X. As time rolls by, the calendar becomes a record of your habit streak. Countless people have tracked their habits, but perhaps the most famous was Benjamin Franklin, beginning at age 20. Franklin carried a small booklet everywhere he went and used it to track 13 personal virtues. This list included goals like lose no time, be always employed in something useful, and avoid tripling conversation at the end of each day. Franklin would open his booklet and record his progress. Jerry Seinfeld reportedly uses a habit tracker to stick with his streak of writing jokes. In a documentary comedian, he explains that his goal is simply to never break the chain. A writing jokes every day. In other words, he is not focused on how good or bad a particular joke is or how inspired he feels. He is simply focused on showing off and adding to his drive. Don't break the chain is the powerful mantra. And don't break the chain of sales call and you will build a successful book of business. Don't break the chain of workouts and you will get fit faster than you had expect. Don't break the chain of creating every day and you will end up with an impressive portfolio. Habit tracking is powerful because it leverages multiple laws of behavior change. It simultaneously makes a behavior obvious, attractive, and satisfying. Let's break down each one. Okay, benefit one. Habit tracking is obvious. Recording your last action creates a trigger that can initiate your next one. Habit tracking naturally builds a series of visual cues like the streak of X on your calendar or the list of meals in your food log. When you look at the calendar and see your streak, you will be reminded to act again. Research has shown that people who track their progress on goals like losing weight, quitting smoking, and lowering blood pressure are all more likely to improve than those who don't. One study of more than 1,600 people found that those who kept a daily food log lost twice as much weight as those who did not. The mere act of tracking a behavior can spark the urge to change it. Habit tracking also keeps you honest. Most of us have a distorted view of our own behavior. We think we act better than we do. A measurement offers one way to overcome our blindness to our own behavior and notice what's really going on each day. One glance at the paper clips in the container, and you immediately know how much work you have or haven't been putting it. When the evidence is right in front of you, you are like less likely to lie to yourself. Okay. Benefit number two. Habit tracking is attractive. The most effective form of motivation is progress. When we get a signal that we are moving forward, we become more motivated to continue down that path. In this way, habit tracking can have an addictive effect on motivation. Each small win feeds your desire. This can be particularly powerful on a bad day When you are feeling down, it's easy to forget about all the progress you have already made. Habit tracking provides visual proof of your hard work, a subtle a reminder of how far you have come. Flaws, the empty square you see each morning can motivate you to get started because you don't want to lose your progress by breaking the streak. The habit benefit number three, habit tracking is satisfying. This is a most crucial benefit of all. A tracking can become its own form of reward. It is satisfying to cross an item of your to-do list, to complete an entry in your workout log, or to mark an X on the calendar. It feels good to watch your results grow. The size of your investment portfolio, the length of your book manuscript, and if it feels good, that then you are more likely to endure. Habit tracking also helps keep your eye on the ball. You are focused on the process rather than the results. You are not fixated on getting six pack abs. You are just trying to keep the streak alive and become the type of person who does not miss workouts. In summary, a habit tracking one creates a visual cue that can remind you to act. Second, inherently motivating because you see the progress you are making and don't want to lose it. And third, feels satisfying whenever you record another successful instant of your habit. Furthermore, habit tracking provides visual proof that you are casting votes for the type of person you wish to become, which is delightful form of immediate and intrinsic gratification. You may be wondering, if habit tracking is so useful, why have I waited so long to talk about it? Despite all the benefits, I have left this decision until now for a simple reason. Many people resist the idea of tracking and measuring. It can feel like a burden because it forces you into two habits: the habit you are trying to build and the habit tracking it. Counting calories sounds like a hassle when you are already struggling to follow a diet. Writing down every cell's call seems tedious when you have got work to do. It feels easier to say, I will just eat less, or I will try harder, or I will remember to do it. People inevitably tell me things like I have a decision journal, but I wish I used it for more, or I recorded my workouts for a week. But then quiet, I have been there myself. I once made a food log to track my calories. I managed to do it for one meal and then gave up. The tracking isn't for everyone, and there is no need to measure your entire life, but nearly anyone can benefit from it in some form, even if it's only temporary. What can we do to make tracking easier? First, whenever possible, measurements should be automated. You will probably be surprised by how much you are already tracking without knowing it. Your credit card statements tracks how often you go out to eat. Your Fitbit registers how many steps you take and how long you sleep. Your calendar records how many new places you travel to each year. Once you know where to get the data, add a note to your calendar to review it each week or each month, which is more practical than tracking it every day. Second, manual tracking should be limited to your most important habits. It is better consistently track one habit than to sporadically track 10. Interested reader can find a habit tracker and template at atomichabit.com tracker. Finally, a record is measurement immediately after the habit occurs. The completion of the behavior is the cue to write it down. This approach allows you to combine the habit tracking method mentioned in chapter 5 with habit tracking. Habit tracking plus habit tracking formula. After current habit, I will do my track my habit. After I hang off the phone from a sales call, I will remove one paper clip over. After I finish each set of the gym, I will record it in my workout journal. After I put my plate in the dishwater, I will write down what I ate. These tactics can make tracking your habits easier, even if you aren't the type of person who enjoys recording your behavior. I think you will find a few weeks of measurements to be insightful. It's always interesting to see how you have actually been spending your time. That said, every habit streak ends at some point, and more important than any single measurement is having a good plan for when your habits slide off track. Okay, how to recover quickly when your habits break down. No matter how consistent you are with your habits, it is inevitable that life will interrupt you at some point. Perfection is not possible. Before long, an emergency will pop off. You get sick, or you have to travel for work, or family needs a little more of your time. Whenever this happens to me, I try to remind myself of a simple rule: never miss twice. Okay? If I miss one day, I try to get back into the it as quickly as possible. Missing one workout happens, but I am not going to miss two in a row. Maybe I will eat an entire pizza, but I will follow it off with a healthy meal. I can't be perfect, but I can avoid a second lapse. As soon as one streak ends, I get started on the next one. The first mistake is never the one that ruins you. It is the spiral of repeated mistakes that follows. Missing once is an accident, or missing twice is the start of a new habit. This is a distinguishing feature between winners and losers. Anyone can have a bad performance, a bad workout, or a bad day at work. But when successful people fail, they rebound quickly. The breaking of a habit does not matter if the reclaiming of it is fast. I think this principle is so important that I will stick to it even if I can't do a habit as well or as completely as I would like. Too often, we fall into an all or nothing cycle with our habits. The problem is not slipping off. The problem is thinking that if you can't do something perfectly, then you shouldn't do it at all. You don't realize how valuable it is to just show off on your bad or busy days. Lost days hurt you more than successful days help you. If you start with $100, then a 50% gain will take you to $150, but you only need a 33% loss to take you back to $100 in other words, avoiding a 33% loss is just as valuable as achieving as 50% gain. As Charlie Munger says, the first rule of compounding: never interrupt it unnecessarily. This is why the bad workouts are often most important ones. A sluggish days and bad workouts maintain the compound gains you accrued from previous good days. Simply doing something, 10 squats, 5 sprints, and a push-ups, anything really is huge. Don't put off a zero. Don't let losers eat into your compounding. Furthermore, it is not always about the happens during the working out. It's about being the type of person who does not miss workouts. It's easy to train when you feel good, but it's crucial to show off when you don't feel like it. Even if you do less than you hope, going to the gym for 5 minutes may not improve your performance, but it reaffirms your identity. The all or nothing cycle of behavior change is just one pitfall that can derail your habits. One another potential danger, especially if you are using a habit tracker, is measuring the wrong thing. Knowing when and when not that to track a habit. Okay, say you are running a restaurant and you want to know if your chef is doing a good job. One way to measure success is to track how many customers pay for a meal each day. If more customers come in, the food must be good. If fewer customers come in, something must be wrong. However, this one measurement, daily revenue, only gives a limited picture of what's really going on. Just because someone pays for a meal does not mean they enjoy the meal. Even dissatisfied customers are unlikely to dine and thus, in fact, if you are only measuring revenue, the food might be getting worse, but you are making up for it with marketing or discounts or some other method. Instead, it may be more effective to track how many customers finish their meal or perhaps the percentage of customers who leave a generous tip. The dark side of tracking a particular behavior is that we become driven by the number of rather than the purpose behind it. If your success is measured by quarterly earnings, you will optimize sales, revenue, and accounting for quarterly earnings. If your success is measured by a lower number on the scale, you will optimize for a lower number on the scale, even if that means embracing crash diets, juice cleanses, and fat loss pills. The human wind wants to win whatever game is being played. This pitfall is evident that many areas of life we focus on working hours instead of getting meaningful work done. We care more about getting 10,000 steps than we do about being healthy. We teach for standardized tests instead of emphasizing learning, curiosity, and critical thinking. In short, we optimize for what we measure. When we choose the wrong measurement, we get the wrong behavior. This is sometimes referred to as good hearts a law named after economist Charles Goodhart. The principle says when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. A measurement is only useful when it guides you and adds context to a larger picture, not when it consumes you. Each number is simply one piece of feedback in overall system. In our data-driven world, we tend to overvalue numbers and undervalue anything ephemeral, soft, and difficult to quantify. We mistakenly think the factors we can measure are the only factors that exist, but just because you can measure something does not mean it's the most important thing, and just because it can measure the something does not mean it's important at all. All of this to say, it's crucial to keep habit tracking in its proper place. It can feel satisfying to record a habit and track your progress, but the measurement is not the only thing that matters. Furthermore, there are many ways to measure progress, and sometimes it helps to shift your focus to something entirely different. This is why non-scale victories can be effective for weight loss. The number on the scale may be stubborn. So if you focus solely on that number, your motivation will sag. But you may notice that your skin looks better, or you wake up earlier, or your sex drive got a boost. All of these are valid ways to track your improvement. If you are not feeling motivated by number of scale, perhaps it's time to focus on different measurement. One that gives you more signals of progress. No matter how you measure your improvement, habit tracking offers a simple way to make your habits more satisfying is measurement provides a little bit of evidence that you are moving in the right direction and a brief moment of immediate pleasure for a job well done. Okay, this is the all about the chapter number 16, that is how to stick with good habits every day. Okay. Thank you for being with me and see you next video with another chapter number 17, how an accountability partner can change everything. Okay, thank you.